Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to this edition of CheckMarks. These are our weekly check-ins here at St. Mark's Methodist Church in Baytown, Texas. And I have a guest with us today. Yuri's been here a lot longer than I have, so most of you know Yuri. But we have an exciting event coming up in the life of our church and in the life of our student ministry, and that is our annual dessert auction. And so I want Yuri to have a chance to share a little bit about the dessert auction. This is my first St. Mark's dessert auction, so I'm excited about it. So Yuri, what can you tell us about the dessert auction?
So I'm not sure I would call it annual. It's been a little while since we've had one. But the goal is to have all of our students bring in some sort of dessert that they've made. Maybe it's a cake or a pie, or maybe it's small items like cupcakes or bags of cookies. And they would set it out on our tables out in the hall with a silent auction sheet where people could walk by, write their name and how much they want to bid on it, and hope that their name is the last one on the list so that they can purchase that item. We know that with the services being so far apart, there's a chance that you may not want to stay from 9 a.m. all the way until 12 p.m. So if that's the case and you have your heart set on a dessert, we will gladly, for the right price, sell it to you outright instead of waiting for the auction. So that's always a possibility as well. We are encouraging the kids to also bring in some items that are just ready to sell in case they're, again, not wanting to wait the whole time. So this brings money in for summer camp, big house, any activities that we do that cost anything for the kids. This helps them put money in their fund account, so helps them in the long run. So if you are available if you're here on November 24th and would like to purchase a dessert for your family that's coming into town for Thanksgiving or just for yourself to enjoy, please stop by and bid on our desserts.
And they are going to be made by the kids. And then it's like eBay with the buy it now price if you don't want to.
Yeah, we'll do a buy it now price for anybody that doesn't want to wait.
All right. Well, yeah. I'm really excited about that. This is the time of year where there's a lot of sweets and desserts are really. You eat a lot of desserts from October to December. So anyway, it's a good time of year to do that.
Yeah, I might make my new signature. Well, not me. Have one of my kids make our new signature dish. We just call it diabetes. But wait till the 24th to find out what it is.
Good. Well, we're looking forward to that. I'm excited about being here that Sunday. So this week's message is going to be about following God, trusting God in the midst of disappointment. We're keeping with our theme of give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. His steadfast love endures forever. And we're going to focus on that word endures. We looked at God's steadfast love last week. I talked a little bit about my own personal life and just the ways I've seen God's steadfast love manifest in my own life. But this week, we're going to look at a fascinating story from the book of Ezra. And in this passage, the people have come back from exile in Babylon, and Zerubbabel has completed the foundation of the temple, and they're here having this big celebration. And the people that remembered the original temple, it says that they're crying out, they're mourning because they remember the glory of the old temple, and it's just not the same. It's not what it used to be. And so I know for me, there have been times in my life where I thought, man, if I could just get this one thing right in my life, if I could just experience this one thing, then everything would be great and life would be good. And sometimes, if we're honest, we see God more at work in the midst of disappointment and hardship than in other places. And so I don't know if you've experienced disappointment in your life, and you don't have to tell the full story, but how have you seen God's enduring love show up in the midst of disappointment?
Yeah, I mean, I always go back to this, I guess, thinking like 2020 as a is not a news story to anybody, but when my daughter was diagnosed with cancer, I went on, in between the diagnosis to surgery to remove the tumor that they discovered, it was like 12 days. And the minute I found out that she had it, I went on one of the most intense, strict, like liquid fasts that I've ever done, where I didn't eat anything, I just drank liquids. And it was typically water and like, I think, a broth just for, you know, some stuff. And I just really prayed, and I believe that God is a healer still, and he can do miraculous things. And so I was believing that when they went in there to remove the tumor, that there wasn't going to be one. And I remember the day of surgery came, and I was like, they weren't doing a scan, so I'm like, all right, they're just going to open her up and not find one. Like, that was where my belief was in my head. And I got an update saying that, like, the tumor's been discovered and we're on our way to remove it now. And I think that was earth-shattering for me. I was really disappointed because I didn't want my daughter to have to walk through what was next, because I knew after that was chemo and radiation, and I really didn't want to have to see her walk through that. But I think even just kind of looking at it in perspective, like, there was a lot of times in that moment where I was like, where are you? Like, I kept asking that, oh my God, are you here? Are you with me? And then I think what was amazing is how much my faith and my daughter's faith was strengthened through this process in a way that it wouldn't have been had it just been instantaneous like that. I think going through the trials that she experienced really gave her a tenacity and a strength that she could not have gotten any other way. Mm-hmm. And so I think it might not always look like what we want it to look like, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be better at the end of it. You know?
Yeah, it truly, we experience God's enduring love more so in the midst of hardship than when life is going great. When everything's going fine, a lot of times we don't feel like we have a need for God, and we're just kind of trucking along doing our own thing, and it's no accident that when life gets rough, that we're drawn back to God. And you know, the Bible says that we're supposed to give thanks in all circumstances, and that's a hard thing to do, especially when you're faced with something like cancer or a lot of the tragedies that come at us in life. And so I'm looking forward to preaching this message on Sunday from Ezra. Ezra's not one of those books we really spend a lot of time in, but there's a lot of powerful metaphors as we look at the people coming back and where was their hope? What was their hope in? And to see that really, to be honest, in the story, their hope is more in the temple itself than in the God who brought them back out of exile. And so it's going to be a fun week. I'm looking forward to worshiping with you and worshiping with our traditional service crowd on Sunday morning at 9 o'clock and at 11 o'clock. And then in 2 weeks, on the 24th, we'll have our dessert auction. So that's going to be a great Sunday. And I guess that wraps us up. I'm looking forward to this Sunday and also to the dessert auction on the 24th. With that, we will see you this Sunday right here at St. Mark's Methodist Church.